Oh, this one. Bushes will find. It's a spider. 60. All right, Shalom. Shalom. The Hebrew Israelites back again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Hudash. And before we begin this lesson, we're going to face the east and give all honor, praise, and glory. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Hudash. I double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone we learned this truth from. We're not officially a part of their camp, but we learn strictly under their teachings as we recognize them through the Holy Spirit to be the real prophets that the Lord has sent in these end times to show us the correct way to salvation, which we're going to need in the near future because trouble is coming to you, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? Shalom to you, Akwaf in order. Shalom to you, Israelites on the highways and hedges, giving up your bodies, living sacrifice, making your calling and election sure, the water for your diligence and your labor. And shalom to you, Israelites scattered abroad. It may look like these other nations. That means, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That means that you can appear to look like any other race of people out there. But if your seed line, which is what it's all about, if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're a Hebrew Israelite. Because the same thing about color. We don't teach that this is about color. It is about where your seed line goes back to. If it goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are of that chosen seed line, and salvation is for you. Okay, right. With that being said, you see the title of the lesson, right? It says, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are in trouble. Okay. And we're going into this because this thing in DC, right, where Trump has ordered that, we do a cleansing of homeless people on the street. We want to reduce the crime and all this, right? They're going for you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? And the reason I didn't put so-called in the title, I did that on purpose, right? Because the Lord is going to bring down judgment on you that want to remain black. You want to be black. You don't want to be Hebrew Israelite. You don't want to come into the knowledge of who you really are and the knowledge of the truth. You want to be black. You want to be Hispanic. You want to be Native American. So you people that are still in that low vibrational mind state, right? You're in trouble, man, which is the time of Jacob's trouble that the Bible speaks about, right? As a matter of fact, I might as well break in the lesson with that precept, right? And I know you've heard this many times before, but this is the time we're coming into, and we're going to show you, we're going to show you on my brother's phone here a clip or two as to what's going on out there. But basically, what in a nutshell, right? Which is prophecy. We've been telling you for a long time this was going to happen. But Esau has waged war on the tribes, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? So you that don't have the Lord's protection, you didn't want to cleave to the prophets, you're in trouble, right? This is Jeremiah 30:7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. So this time period we're coming into is going to be a time like there's never ever been in the earth before, man. That's why it says so that none is like it. It said it is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So it's a time for great trouble and distress for you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Okay. So your main priority should be getting under the protection of the Lord in these end times, man. Okay. When you hear a lesson like this, it should put some level of fear in you, man. Right. But as always, when the prophets hit the scene, people reject them and scoff, right? So it says, it is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that he that's going to be saved out of it is the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay. So I don't know if you want to bring out a clip as to what's going on in DC right now, just to start this lesson off, just so people have people that might not know out there, so you have an idea as to what's taking place as we speak, man. Because Trump, which is Nero, that cruel lord, right? The Bible speaks about how he will have a cruel Lord to rule over our people, right? Lord willing, I'll bring that out in a minute. Remind me if I forget. I tend to do that. But the Trump is known as that cruel Lord that is going to rule over our people in the end times, right? And he's coming down with draconian measure, basically, man. He's coming down with some strict laws, man, strict rules. He's coming down hard on Jake because he's tired of these YNs, man, and these hyenas. Okay, and we're fed up. We're fed up with them too, man. So really, ultimately, it's the Lord using Esau to do this. We're gonna get into all of this in a minute because it's so scriptural, man. Okay, but this is a time where the Lord is about to bring down judgment upon you, Jakes. Jake is short for Jacob. So so this is the time of Jacob's trouble, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You people that didn't want to cleave to the truth while it's available, you're in big trouble, man. Okay. And what you're seeing now in DC is only a taste. It's an appetizer as to what's coming because it's gonna get ugly. The Bible says no, never been a time like it, man. Yeah, just show that. Yeah. Right. So I'll show you. This doesn't explain in detail what's going on. It's just a quick 15-second clip as to what's going on in the streets of DC right now. Because what Donald Trump has done is he's funding, militarizing the police, and he's got a bunch of police force and federal agents and stuff out in the streets right now, basically sweeping the place of crime and people that are committing crime, and they're coming down with strict measures, man. They're approaching people while they're sat on their porch, minding their business. They're rounding people up, all sorts of stuff going on. But Lord willing, you can see. I'm going to show you this clip real quick here. Let's see where. We're going to put everyone that way now. I know. They're moving in to crush these protests. So, I don't know if you caught that very clear, but yeah, they're tired of homeless, they're tired of protesters, and they're tired of basically Jake making them look bad because Washington DC is the capital of America, and they want it to be they want that place to represent America, which when people come and they look at DC now and they see homeless everywhere and crime everywhere, you know what I mean? It puts a stain on the image of Babylon the Great, aka America, right? So Trump is coming down with great wrath, basically, and declaring war on tribes. It ain't necessarily strictly to do with homelessness. It's basically he's waging war against you so-called black people and you so-called Latinos and Native Americans, man. Okay, and this is all a part of their NWO agenda, is to attack our people, right? I'll let you take that for now. We'll play it one or two more in a bit. But I want to read this, right? Because what we've done is we've tried to warn Jake for time that this is coming, but they didn't want to listen, right? This is the book of Matthew chapter 11, starting at verse 16. It says, "But whereunto shall I liken this generation?" Talking about these people in these end times, our people of this generation, man, this wicked and adulterous generation. So it says, whereunto shall I liken unto the but whereunto shall I liken this generation? It says, it is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented. See, because we're out here piping, basically singing this new song, right? To pipe is to play an instrument or whatever, but this is metaphorically speaking for us that are proclaiming the gospel, man, this new song, right? And this reason it's called a new song is because it's different to what people are used to. People are used to Christianity when they think of the Bible, right? But we're coming with a whole new doctrine that the Lord only died for his people and what the color of the Lord is, and that we got to keep the laws. The laws ain't done away with. You got to keep them to the best of your ability. Acknowledge them. You got to fear the Lord, right? We're telling them things that they're not used to, right? and that the Lord don't love everybody, right? So we're piping unto our people, which really is a form of us correcting them, right? I'm gonna read it again, just so you understand better this time. Matthew 11:16, it says, "But whereunto shall I liken this generation?" It says, "It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows." That's us. It says, "And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced." So they ain't dancing to the tune that we're playing, man. We're out here singing this new song, right? This marvelous gospel, but they ain't dancing. They're not reacting to it. They're scoffing. They're not doing what it's meant to do. When you play music to somebody, it's supposed to get them in a rhythm. It's supposed to get them dancing. You know, they're supposed to be in tune with the rhythm, man. But these people ain't. They're not listening. They're not paying attention, and they don't understand that that's going to come with great consequence, man. So it says, "And saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented." See? So these people are supposed to be lamenting. They're supposed to be wailing and crying and repenting, basically, because we're mourning unto them and telling them of the great judgment that's coming. But these people don't, they ain't getting it, man. Jake ain't getting it. Jake still wants to be YNs. They still want to grow dreadlocks down their damn back, looking like the damn predator, right? Just being a damn embarrassment, man. A damn hyena. The nigger woman still wants to be loud and ratchet like some damn hyena, right? Just a total embarrassment, man. And they ain't coming into the kingdom of heaven with us, man. Not on the first go round. They're not going through the straight gate, okay? They're going on the path to death, and they're gonna have to be in their right mind when they come back through the loins of the elect. But the Lord, listen. Many things have been taking place leading up to this moment to show us what Jake is about. Jake ain't right, man. Jake don't want to get right. So we don't feel sorry for them. When we first came in this truth, we had that spirit on us where we just wanted to love our people. Don't you know you're his Israelite brother? The Lord loves you, brother. We were in that spirit, man, because we were immature and didn't understand exactly what was going on. But now we get it. Now we understand, man, that 2/3 have got to go, and you cannot feel sorry for these people, man. The Lord says, don't let me grab it 1 sec. So in Jeremiah chapter 7, right? And I'm going to start at 6. I'm just going to get to the point, read 16. So this is Jeremiah 7:16. It says, "Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry nor a prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee." So the Lord ain't dealing with them. They were always predestined for destruction, and there's absolutely nothing you can do for them, man. Now we know the elect are out there somewhere, and we don't know, we can't judge by appearance exactly who the elect are. So we prophesy out there. We throw the prophecies out. We throw we pipe into them, man. You know, we're singing this new song. We're throwing out that line, that fishing line, hoping we catch some fish. But in the meantime, we're catching a few crusties, a few crabs and incrustations and stuff, and we're tossing them back in, man, because the Lord don't want them. He only wants the elect, that fine gold, man. But 2/3 of Jake ain't gonna get right, and we don't represent them. They ain't coming in the kingdom with us. And Trump is doing a good thing by bringing down the wrath on them, man. Okay, because ultimately, what he's doing the work of the Lord, man. The Lord has put spirit on him to do that, right? And I'll quickly grab that. Actually, I think it's in what, Psalm 17. Because it says, here we go. Yeah, Psalm 17:13, right? It says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down." And this is talking about the wicked, aka Esau Edom, right? Which is his biblical nationality, which the world today calls the so-called white man, right? Or they actually call white people, right? but they're known in the Bible as the wicked, right? And what does the Lord say here? He says, "Arise, O yeah." Well, this is King David. No, yeah, King David saying, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down." It says, "Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." So the Lord is using Trump. He set up Trump because the Lord is in charge of who is a ruler, you know, at certain times in life, should I say. So you have certain people that are set up as rulers by the Lord. The Lord set up Donald Trump because the Lord is going to use the wicked, right? Because Donald Trump is a member of the wicked, and he's going to use Donald Trump, that cruel Lord, to come down having great wrath on our people, man, because he is the Lord's whipping stick. He's the sword of the Lord, right? The Edomites are the sword of the Lord, the wicked are, right? So the Lord is using them to get busy on Jake. He's going to use them on the left-hand side to do wickedness unto the nation of Israel, man. The ones that didn't want to get right? Because we've been piping unto them and they're not dancing, man. Okay? So these people are in deep trouble. You got anything you want to say? Yeah. I got a scripture I want to bring out, you know, because like my brother said, the Edomites, especially Donald Trump, is that whipping stick to you know, to be that rod of correction for the Israelites, right? Now you're starting to see these devils, what do they call it? Black fatigue. Yeah. They got a lot of that these days. And now Donald Trump is showing his horns, yeah, right? And he's going after the poor. But you know, not is what I was gonna say is he's not explaining why they're in that condition that they're in. You know, they're in the condition they're in because of redlining, because of, you know, putting the you know, the drugs in that area and then just letting it fester. And now he wants to what do you call it? Wash his hands, I guess, to say, look, we're going to clean up this mess. But it's the mess you created, yeah, right? Yeah, he created the YN. Yep, exactly. And the nigger woman. Exactly. He created that atmosphere, those conditions for that environment. He created that. Yeah, because these fatherless children are fatherless because of the feminism ideology that he's pushed upon our women, which he was behind. And Section 8 and the government's assistance and stuff, man. Yeah, you know. Yep, and I wanted to bring this out. This is in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, starting from verse 1. It says, "Remember now thy creator the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." Like these are the evil days, right? The starting with the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone, you know, to the like-minded brothers on down, you know, pushing his word out in all these years, telling you to repent and return to the Lord while you still have that opportunity. Now you're starting to see them, you know, that spiritual door to the ark is being closed, right? Time is near. It says, and read it again. It says, "Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth," meaning while you're, you know, you come into this truth, while you have the opportunity to seek him now, is the time to seek him. Right? It's now. You got to seek him before it's too late. It says, while the evil days come not. The evil days are here now. We're starting to see, if you think that, you know, everything's going to go back to normal, like you're sadly mistaken. Like it's about to start getting rough, man. That net is about to start squeezing and getting tighter. It says, it's while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Ain't nobody got pleasure these days. You know, me and my brother were talking about, you know, back in the days, you know, you know, life was nice back then, but now it's so rough now. You just want it to end. Like you just want, you know, you just can't wait till this place is done away with, right? It says, verse 2, it says, "While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain." It says, I mean, that I'll probably just leave it there because that goes into like the state of the world today, where you have like what is it? Like where the job markets are coming down and there's no hope. People are looking out the windows, like looking down. Matter of fact, I'll just read it. It's lucky. I'll just read it. Verse 3, it says, "In the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong man shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And that's talking about the times that we're coming into, the economic, downturn that everybody's seeing, the recessions, jobs closing, people losing their jobs. You got Eve, I think 300,000 black women, so-called black women, have been laid off. The music industry is in shambles right now. The music they promote is just garbage. There's everybody's looking out in the future thinking, it ain't gonna get any better. Now you see Trump coming with this I guess martial law takeover pretty much. There's no hope. People ain't gonna have any hope, man. Yeah, that goes into Revelation 12:12, which we'll grab in a minute, Lord willing, right? Because we bring that out many times, man, and tell you that this devil about to come down on great wrath on you, Jakes, man. It's the time of Jacob's trouble. This is just an appetizer. It's the beginning. Okay, it's going to get a lot worse, man. When the scriptures say that it's a time like no other, what they're going through now is nothing like what we've been through. So this ain't it. It's going to get worse, basically, man.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Yeah, buckle your seatbelt, man. It's going to be a bumpy ride for you niggas. Right? Niggas and spicks. Wetbacks. It's an inside joke, right? That's what they call you, innit? Right, so this is Proverbs 1. I'm going to start at verse 20, right? You'll see where I'm going with this. It says, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. And that wisdom is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this Holy Bible, man. The truth, the true gospel. It's not taught, the truth ain't taught in these Christian churches. Wisdom is crying without in the streets. That's why you see us with these, these long garments out on the street corner, cussing out the so-called white man, as they say. That's all you guys do. No, there's more to it than that. Pay attention, right? But we're giving you wisdom. We're giving you the true knowledge of the Holy Scriptures, right? And it's out in the streets, right? It says here, wisdom, Proverbs 1:20, wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, your busy shopping centers and stuff like that, right? It says in the openings of the gates, it says in the city, she uttereth her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And our people are simple as hell, man. Okay, all they think about is folly and entertainment, trying to mac hoes and get the latest cars and clothes and biggest chain and all that. Ice grills. I just saw a clip on Instagram where some woman had or the parents could have been the woman, I think, gifted her 5-year-old son for his birthday, got him a damn gold grill, like all the teeth gold. Man, he looked ridiculous. It looked stupid, man. The hell you want your little 5-year-old kid wearing a damn gold grill for, man? That's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's the direction. That's the nigger woman is the creator of the YNs, man. These people that are terrorizing the streets, got Donald Trump out here coming down with great wrath about right now, man. This is the production of the so-called black woman. It says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Because if you reject this knowledge, you're a fool, man. Okay? Because what we're giving out here is basically a life raft. If you're out in the river and you're drowning, and I throw you a life raft and you scoff at it, push it out, what do I want that for? You're a fool, right? Because that's literally what we're doing when we bring this gospel out to you, man. It says, turn you at my reproof, right? And the reproof is coming through the prophets. It says, behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make my words known unto you. But they don't see the profit in that. They want to get this money. They're talking about it don't bring money. It don't make money. It don't make sense, they say, right? It says, because I have called and ye refused, right? We threw out that life raft and you said to get that out of my face. I don't need it, right? Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out mine hand, no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity, I will mock when your fear cometh. So when you're catching hell, in the days that we're coming into, don't think about calling on the Lord then, because you didn't seek him early. It's too late. Too late for you, Jakes, man. You got to seek him, like my brother just read, before the evil days come, man. You know, the scriptures reiterate this time and time again. Okay, it's telling you what's coming and what you got to do to prepare yourself. But you people, you just lack wisdom, right? So it says in verse 27, Proverbs 1 and 27, it says, "When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind," it says, "when distress and anguish cometh upon you," which is coming, it says, "then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer." So you ain't always gonna have an opportunity to get saved. All you people that think you're just gonna get raptured out of here and not go through any adversity. You think that you think that you can call on the Lord at the last minute. Nah, man. It don't work that way, okay? What kind of fool you take the Lord for? You just turning up in the club, turning your nose up at the Lord, and then think that you deserve a free ticket to salvation just because when you're catching hell, or you just call on the Lord, which you're gonna call on the wrong name anyway, right? A false god, right? You think the Lord just gonna drop everything and save you? You're crazy, man. It says in verse 30, Proverbs 1 and 30, it says, no, 29, Salakia, it says, "For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord," right? Which is a treasure. It says, "They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof," because the Lord has put the spirit on Elder Manatizatbar to bring out mad videos on these scoffers, man. And it's very cringy and hard to watch, but the Lord has him doing it for a reason, so that we can see exactly why these people need to be destroyed, man. And us that have been paying attention, right, on our watch, we get it now. So we ain't gonna shed a tear and we ain't gonna lift up a prayer for these people when they're catching hell. We ain't gonna say we ain't gonna say that it ain't gonna be hard to watch, because it's gonna get ugly, man. And we're naturally we might have a soft spot for them. As pissed off as we are now, when it's actually happening, it might be a different story. We might be like, damn, Lord, ain't there something you could do for these people? Nah, man. Listen, at the end of the day, we need to see what the Lord has put spirit on Elder Manata Zatbar to bring out. And we need to see all these things going on the internet, that where our people are acting a damn fool and acting like damn animals, right? Hooligans. We need to see that so that we don't get a soft spot for them in the times we're coming into, because we're gonna need to be tough in that time, because it's gonna get ugly, man. And only the wise are gonna be able to endure through that. So I'm gonna wrap this up in just a sec. So this is Proverbs 1. And I'll continue. I'll start at verse 30. It says, "They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices." See? So you're gonna be left to it, man. When you're catching hell, you can't call upon the Lord, man. Figure it out, right? It says, "For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them." It says, "But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely." See, you can't call on Jesus, okay? Because that's not the me that the Lord is talking about, okay? You got to call on the right name. There's only one name that can bring you salvation. That's Acts 4 and 12, man. Read it, okay? There's only one name you can call on. The Lord had a Hebrew name. The name matters. His name is holy. You got to put respect on that name, man. It says, "But whosoever hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely and shall be quiet from the fear of evil." See, because evil times are coming. So if you want protection, you got to cleave to the Lord, the true God of Israel, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. That. Yeah. So, yeah, like my brother was saying, man, you got a lot of people that just don't want to know, right? But we understand through the scriptures that the nation of Israel, have always been stiff-necked people, right? This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 1. I'm going to start at verse 3, right? It says, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But if Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider." They don't consider that,
that they're being disobedient to the Lord. They don't consider the wickedness they're doing. You know what I mean? They don't consider how the Lord's going to respond to that. They don't consider it because they're stiff-necked people, right? Verse 2, it says, "Ah, sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger. They are gone away backward." Right? So we understand the time that we're coming into, the time that the Lord's about to dish out is the Lord's anger. The Lord's about to release his anger upon the world, right? And you're starting to see that with the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? In going through the troubled times, right? You know, the people in DC especially, you know, in those neighborhoods, those Israelites, evildoers. You know, what do they say on the news? Criminals, homeless, you know, the YNs.
Yeah,
They're the evildoers.
The very ones they used to call super predators, man. Yep. They've got all kinds of names for you, Jakes, because they hate you. They've waged war on you. They're finally, you got to remember, there was an Illuminati playing card, right, with Trump on it. And he's screaming, and showing an image of him screaming, saying, "Enough is enough." This is that time, man. This is exactly what that card was referring to. This is a pivotal moment in history you're witnessing, man.
Yeah. And just to mention again, right, you have the YNs. They're the youngsters these days. What do they call them? The YNs is young
niggas.
yeah. But it says children that are corrupters. Are not YNs corrupters? Are YNs not doing the most like outlandish shit you can see on TV?
Yeah.
and promoting it as content? You know what I mean? Like, that's outlandish, man. But you know, they're provoking the Holy One of Israel to anger. They're provoking the Lord.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever comes upon you is what you brought on yourself. Just remember, you asked for this. You think that you can live this life and be how you want to be and do what you want to do? No, we all have to answer to the Most High, right? But these YNs don't believe that. You know, you got the Israelites out on the highways and hedges, compelling you to come back to the Lord. And you know, you YNs would rather just chase tail and chase money. Cool. All right. When the Lord comes to judge you, guess what? You deserve it.
Yeah. Young nigga gremlins, man.
That's it.
I want to bring out real quick Jeremiah chapter 5 and verse 20. Starting at 20. Right? It says here, "Declare this in the house of Jacob and publish it in Judah, saying," talking about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, preferably you so-called blacks, right? You're the worst. It says in verse 21, it says, "Hear now this, O foolish people," right? Because you deny the gospel that could save you. It says, "And without understanding," it says, "which have eyes to see and see not, which have ears to hear and hear not." So basically, you've been given technology to be able to get this gospel, and you've seen us on the streets, you've seen us on the internet, you have eyes to see, but you don't see, you don't care. You have ears to hear. The Lord blessed you with ears to hear, but you ain't listening, man. Okay? Foolish people, right? It says in verse 22, says Jeremiah 5 and 22, it says, "Fear ye not me, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai." So you what? You don't fear me? The Lord is saying, "Fear ye not me, saith Yahweh." It says, "Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bounds of the sea by a perpetual decree?" So the Lord that created the heavens and the earth, all the sophisticated things in the earth, the sophistication of the human body, the eyeballs, he created them that they could see, the fingers that we can grasp stuff, the tongue so we can taste. You don't fear that type of power, right? You think you do by packing in them Christian church, but you're deceived. It says, "Fear ye not me, saith Yahweh. Will ye not tremble at my presence, which have placed the sand for the bound of the sea by a perpetual decree, that it cannot pass it?" And though the waves thereof toss themselves, yet can they not prevail. Though they roar, yet can they not pass over it. That just shows you the power of the Lord, man. It says, but this people have a revolting and a rebellious heart. They are revolted and gone. Our people are through, man. They're rebellious as hell. It says, neither say they in their heart, let us now fear Yahweh, our power, that giveth rain, both the former and the latter in his season. So they don't say, all this going on in the world, nah, maybe I should turn to the Lord. Maybe I should start listening to those black Hebrew Israelites. They don't even consider that, man. Because they're foolish, right? So it says, he reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. It says, your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. See? So this is why Jake living in squalor. Jake ain't got shit. Esau's lit shining on us. It's because you basically brought it upon yourself. Your iniquities have turned away these things, and your sins have withholden good things from you. See? It says, for among my people are found wicked men. It says they lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, they catch men. So they're basically out here, hey, let me try this spliff I got right here. Lace it with crack, heroin, so that they can get you hooked, ruin your whole damn life, and got a customer for life, man. That's how Esau gets down. But our people excel the deeds of the wicked, man. They lay traps for men. They're bloody and deceitful, man. Our people are no good, man. Fraudsters, tricksters, and criminals, man. It says in verse 27, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxen rich. You know, you people out there that sell drugs and all that. You getting ghetto fabulous, right? Living ghetto fabulous. It says they are waxen fat, they shine. Yeah, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. That's terrible, man. Because everything Jake does, we do it better, right? But that includes being wicked, man. Our people take it to a whole nother level. Salakia, dry throat. He says they judge not the cause. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy do they not judge? And that's talking about our people, man. They don't do what they were put here to do. We were put here to teach the gospel, liberate our people through this word, man. But they ain't doing their job. They just born in vain. They got to go, man. They're getting ready to perish. It says, shall I not visit for these things? So this is why the Lord is doing these things and got Trump out here waging war on you tribes, man. Because the Lord has put spirit on him to do that. And we support that, man. Because we got nigger fatigue too, man. Shall I not visit for these things, saith Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? See? You think the Lord just loves everybody because you're a so-called black, because you're from that chosen sea line, you're a so-called black, Latino, and Native American. You think you automatically get good treatment, that the Lord is going to show favor upon you just because you're of that chosen seed line? No, they ain't all Israel that are of Israel. Remember that, man. It says that in what? Romans chapter 9. It says in verse 30, Jeremiah 5 and 30, a wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. See? Donald A. D.T. Trump, Nero, that cruel Lord is here now. Okay. It says the prophets prophesy falsely and the priests bear rule by their means, and my people love to have it so. See? So these Christian pastors are teaching you lies and robbing you, and you love it that way. You don't want to come into the true knowledge of the truth. You rather hear smooth things, right? So this is you love to have it so. It says, and what will ye do in the end thereof, okay? Because they ain't going to show you the way to salvation. They ain't going to show you how, Pastor Porkchop ain't going to show you how to be protected from the Lord's wrath, okay? That's where we come in, man. We're piping to you and you're not dancing, right? You got something? No?
I know we want to still bring these out.
Yeah, let me bring this one out real quick. It's cool. Right, let me show you something real quick, right? Because this is something I came across recently on TikTok. And what this guy is saying, it says Trump attacks black-led cities with lower crime rates than red state cities. See? So it ain't about the crime and stuff. That's the cover they're using. Because you got to remember that the wicked are deceitful, right? They lie. They're natural born liars, man. Okay. And not only that, but Satan, it says no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So he's playing like he's doing this for a righteous cause, but really the whole time he's just waging war on so-called black people, man, and Hispanics and Native Americans, man, the biblical Israelites, because they know who you are. It's just our people don't know. Although we've been trying to tell them for years, they still don't get it, man. But basically, what you're going to see in this video that I'm about to show you is that all the cities that Trump is targeting, that he has on his agenda to send troops into, are run by so-called black people. The governors of the mayors of these cities are so-called black people, man. And that ain't by coincidence, man. It's just our people are too damn dumb to figure it out. Check this out, man.
Invasion of DC this week. He also suggested that other cities might be next.
Let me run that back.
Trump announced his invasion of DC this week. He also suggested that other cities might be next. And you might notice that the mayors of all those cities have something in common. Let's listen to what Trump said.
Check this out.
Very bad. You look at Chicago,
Chicago,
how bad it is. You look at Los Angeles, how bad it is.
Los Angeles,
Other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem.
New York,
And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland.
Baltimore, and Oakland. All right, so what might the mayors of all these cities have in common? Well, they're all Democrats, yes, but I think there might be something else they all have in common. The quiet part that Trump has not yet said out loud in this instance. So the mayor of DC is Muriel Bowser. The mayor of Chicago is Brandon Johnson. The mayor of Los Angeles is Karen Bass. The mayor of New York is Eric Adams. The mayor of Baltimore is Brandon Scott. And the mayor of Oakland is Barbara Lee. What might all of these mayors have in common? I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I feel like there's something they all have in common. If you can figure it out, let me know.
They all got brown skin like me. That's what they have in common, man. You got to understand, man. We're trying to tell you that Trump has waged war on you tribes, man. Hey, Sonia, Yahaba Shem Yahushai Barakatah.
Shalom, sis.
Good to see you. And Thawada for joining our live. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom.
Yeah, we were basically talking about how Trump has basically waged war on us, on our people, right? But ultimately, the Lord has put spirit on him to do that because obviously, as our followers know by now, should know by now, that the Most High uses Esau, the wicked, as his sword. So not only does the Lord have nigger fatigue, but we do too. And we've been conditioned over time to not feel sorry for these people because we understand now that they have to go, right? So this is what we're getting into in this lesson, man. Now, what did I want to bring out next? I want to grab something. 1 second. It was Psalms chapter 10, I think. Right, so this is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, and I'm gonna read the whole chapter. It's not long. And it says, why standest thou afar off, O Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Who's the poor? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you biblical Israelites, the tribes. You're the poor that this is talking about, man. Right? It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. And that's what you see happening in DC right now. And I ain't stopping at DC. DC is a test run, man. But that's going to spread to many other cities that Jake is predominantly in. You know what I mean? Because Esau has waged war on you tribes. So it says, the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. It says, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh abhorreth. So they boast of their NWO agenda and their agenda 2030 and all that, right? Which is basically ethnic cleansing and the NWO and all that, right? And they bless the covetous whom Yahweh abhorreth. So they give these billionaires tax breaks because these people are covetous as hell, right? Which covetousness means to have a desire for other people's goods. So when you're out here working a 9 to 5 and you making money, Esau wants that. These elites are using you as slave labor to make themselves rich, right? And what these elites are doing is blessing Trump and all that, giving them tax breaks and all that, right? So they bless the covetous whom the Lord abhors. It says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. And you can back that up with Psalms chapter 119 and 155, showing you that salvation is not for everyone, man. It definitely ain't for the wicked, the so-called white man, okay? Because they don't seek after the Lord, man. Read that in Psalms chapter 119 and 155, man. That's a precept. So verse 5, so this is Psalms 10 and 5. It says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them, which he's doing to you tribes right now. It says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So they always think they're going to be in power because the pride of these devils is through the roof. So they always think that they think they're unstoppable, man. But the Lord's got something coming for them. They don't know it, though. That's why it's going to be such an epic fall when they do, because they're puffed up on pride. And when they fall, it's going to be glorious, man. Because they don't see it coming, but we do. We're just patiently waiting, man. Okay? So verse 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and frauds. This is why when he says that they're trying to get rid of homelessness and all that, that's a front. They're just trying to play like the good guy because, Satan is transformed into an angel of light, the scriptures say. That's talking about Esau, man, the wicked, right? So they always make out like they're doing this for righteousness' sake, but doing this for a good cause, when the whole time they're just waging war against you tribes, man. But the Lord ultimately, like I said, the Lord is using them to do this because the Lord is fed up at YNs, man, and hyenas. It says in verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. It says his eyes are privily set against the poor. So it's always been about waging war. It's always been about you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. That's all he cares about getting. He wants to rid. In all honesty, they think the world is going to be a better place with you gone. When you're the ones that bring flavor to the earth, you're the ones that bring salt to the earth, man. You're the ones that make the earth supposed to make the earth a good place, but now you just, you people, you YNs are gone, man. Anyway, it says he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. It says he doth catch the poor when he draweth them into his net, his trap. It says he croucheth and humbleth himself that the poor may fall by his strong ones. That's that's them troops that he's got going through DC right now, man. That's an example of his strong ones, man. It says he hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. So what they think is that the Lord don't care about our people, you know. He's forgotten about us and this and that. But the Lord said he's going to have mercy on us. And he's going to end up destroying Esau, man, because Esau is dead wrong. It says, arise, O Yahweh, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. See, and the humble is us that have accepted this gospel. And we're coming back to the knowledge of the Lord, man. We're coming back to the Lord and acknowledging his ways. Because it takes humility to do that. But the proud of our people, they don't want nothing to do with this, man. So the Lord ain't gonna protect them. All right, he's not rising up for them. So Psalms 10 and 13, it says, wherefore doth the wicked condemn the Most High? It says he hath said in his heart, thou wilt not require it. It says, thou hast seen it, for thou beholdest mischief and spite to require it with thine hand. It says, the poor committeth himself unto thee, thou art the helper of the fatherless. So our people, the elect of our people have come back to the Lord, right? And the Lord is the helper of the fatherless, because our people are well known for, not having a father in the household, man, which is one of the curses of our people. So this is why, this is a key identifier as to who the Lord is going to rise up for in these times that we desperately need him, man. And he's only going to do that, as stated in Jeremiah 30 and 7. He's only going to save the elect of Israel, man, the ones that actually cleave to the gospel. They're dancing to the song that we're singing, man. So it says, it's almost done now. It says, in verse 15, so this is Psalms 10 and 15. It says, break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man, okay, which is talking about the so-called white man. So the Lord is talking about breaking his arm, right? Because the arm is the strength. Without your arm, you're screwed. You're defenseless. How you going to swing in combat or anything when your arm is broken, right? Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out his wickedness till thou find none. And that's where we come in, man, because we're revealing his wickedness, man. The scriptures say, what is it? The heavens shall reveal his iniquity and the earth shall rise up against him. The book of Job, man. So it says Yahweh is king forever and ever. It says the heathen are perished out of his land, which is the land of Israel right now, because you got Ishmaelites and Edomites living there. They're heathen. It says, Yahweh, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. It says, thou wilt prepare their heart, thou wilt cause thine ear to hear. See? Because this gospel that we're preaching when we do these lessons, this ain't in vain, man. This is fulfilling the prophecies written, okay? And the Lord is going to rise up on our behalf. We ain't doing it for these YNs and these 2/3 that don't want to get right. With their dreadlocks swinging everywhere, looking like a damn weirdo, right? Looking like the Predator, right? The Lord ain't dealing with that long hair, man. Last verse, Psalms 10 and 18. It says, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed. It says that the man of the earth may no more oppress, and that's talking about Esau. So the Lord is going to intervene on our behalf against our oppressors, man. Okay, we all have a common oppressor as so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, which is the so-called white man, the wicked of the earth. Okay, and the Lord ain't gonna allow him to just keep getting away with what he's doing, man. Okay, but we're wise enough to know that what we got to do is wait on the Lord, man. People might see us as cowards because they want to form militias and go up against Esau carnally with guns, but that ain't the way to go about it, man. It may seem ridiculous and foolish just to wear these robes and do these lessons that we're doing, but this is what the Lord is requiring of us, man. The Lord is going to do the heavy lifting. We ain't got to go out there against Esau, because Esau is blessed with the sword, and we will get slaughtered out there, okay? Especially if we don't have the protection of the Lord, man, because that's the only way we ever won battles and wars, man, is when the Lord was with us. You understand? So now that we're coming back to the Lord, we're getting our power back, and we got his name now. Okay. Which you shouldn't underestimate the power of that name, them names, man. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, man.
You're fine. Yeah, you know, Esau, he's starting to make his moves now because obviously he knows that his time is short. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time."
Yeah, man.
And these devils know that their time is up, man. The time that they're trying to incorporate that agenda 2030, the NWO agenda, where they get everybody chipped up, you know, and then they have everybody under their control. That's what they're aiming for. They're rushing. That's why they're saying, like, towards the end of this year, I think in Australia, they were saying at the end of this year, they want the law's been passed now where everybody has to have a digital ID.
Yeah.
Like these things are coming. These things are written in the scriptures, and they're coming. And the reason it's coming speedily is because they know that their time is up. They're trying to make sure, hey, we need to get this place locked down, right? But they're just they don't understand that they're falling into prophecy. Like, they know that their time is up. But it says here, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe meaning destruction, to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devils, the nation of Esau, Edom, right? The so-called white man out there, right? It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time." That great wrath is you know, what he's getting ready to do, that time of Jacob's trouble. You know, that's orchestrated by him. He's the one that's terrorizing the tribes right now. You know?
So, you know, the Lord says, fear him, leave off from your iniquities. Do you want to grab that? Where it says, meddle not with your iniquities forever.
Yeah.
That the Lord himself is the judge, fear him. That's what it says, right? Forget the exact precept, I'm not great at remembering. Right, so I want to read this, right? In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 22. And I want to start at verse 17. It says, "And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, the house of Israel, our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the house of Israel is to me become dross. They are all brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace," meaning they're worthless, man. When you put precious metal in the furnace, right, you get dross that comes from it, which is a byproduct. It means it's the waste, the crap. Because when you put it in the you're purifying it in a furnace, you're getting rid of the impurities to make it really fine, like fine gold or fine silver or whatever, right? Make it really shiny, right, and appealing. But you get a byproduct, you get dross that comes from that, and that's what our people have become, man. Dross, right? When we're really a great nation of people, but we're not reaching our full potential because we don't cleave unto the right way. The Lord will make a man out of you, okay? He'll make a real man out of you and make you worthy to, you know, rule the kingdom of heaven, man. Because the kingdom of heaven is going to be founded, the foundation of it is going to be built on righteousness, man. The Lord ain't using niggers as the foundation of the kingdom of heaven. They can forget it, man. They got a false idea of what salvation is all about and what the kingdom of heaven is about, man, because they're deceived through Christianity, man. So it says, I'm gonna read it from the top again, Ezekiel 22 and 18. "Son of man, the house of Israel is to me become dross. All they are brass and tin and iron and lead in the midst of the furnace. They are even the dross of silver." It says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, because ye are all become dross, behold, therefore, I will gather you in the midst of Jerusalem," right? Which Jerusalem is a people for its place. So the ghettos, or you could say America, wherever the Israelites reside, that is what it's talking about. "So we will gather you in the midst of Jerusalem," which we know to be Babylon the Great, aka America, is speaking about. It says, "As they gather silver and brass and iron and lead and tin into the midst of the furnace." So this is how he's going to gather you, right? He says to blow the fire upon it, to melt it. So will I gather you in mine anger and in my fury, and I will leave you there and melt you. So you're going to be left in Babylon the Great, which is the lake of fire, and you're going to be melted there, man, by them ICBM nuclear missiles that are coming in the very near future, man. Because you can see this war, the tensions between these leaders and these countries is getting hot, man. Israel, the least of the flock, is drawing them out, drawing them into this third world war, man. It's going to happen. It's prophetic, and it's going to end in a nuclear holocaust. And you think the Lord is just going to leave his righteous men here to cook along with these 2/3 YNs? No, man. The Lord is going to save that remnant by the means of what the world calls spaceships or UFOs. It may sound crazy to a lot of people out there, but for one, they definitely do exist. I've seen them with my own eyes, man. Okay, I know exactly. I know for sure they exist. I've seen them a few times in my life, man. First time was in 1996. It was very vivid, man. Very vivid. But where was I? I think that's it. Yeah. That's it.
He said,
It's all good. I'll grab it. Right, bear with me 1 second. Just grab this precept I wanted to bring out. This is 2nd Ezra 16. And I'm gonna start at 66. It says, "What will ye do, or how will ye hide your sins before the Most High and His angels? Because the Lord sees everything, man. You ain't hiding. You ain't fooling nobody, especially the one that created you. He already knew what you were gonna do before you do it. So how the hell are you gonna hide that from a person, a power like that, right?" It says, "Behold," this is the point in verse 2nd Ezra 16 and 67. It says, "Behold." It says the Most High himself is the judge, right? So he's the one that's going to bring these judgments to the nation of Israel, man, through the cruel Lord Trump, right? And these Edomites, the wicked. It says, "Behold, the Most High himself is the judge. Fear him," right? Don't fear ICE. Don't fear Trump. Don't fear the law enforcement. Fear the Lord, man. He's the one controlling them, is what it's just saying. Right? Fear him. It says, "Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities to meddle no more with them forever." Don't listen to the Christian church says the law is done away with. That don't make no damn sense. They used to tell me that back when I thought I was a Christian years ago, man. And I always knew that didn't make no sense. I was like, that just don't sit right in my spirit. You just do whatever you want and you're saved. You're good now because I believed in Jesus. No, man. That ain't how it works. Okay? It says, "Forget your sins, forget your iniquities to meddle no more with them forever." It says, "So shall the Most High lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble." Now we're coming into the time that the Bible calls the time of Jacob's trouble, man. And you're gonna need deliverance from that time. That's why the Lord said to meddle not with your sins forever, man. That don't mean you're gonna keep it perfect and never sin again, because we can't do that in this flesh, in this captivity, right? We're going to do that when the Lord makes that new covenant with us, when we enter those new bodies, them immortal bodies, man. Because the Lord is going to write his laws in our inward parts, meaning we're going to be programmed to do what's right. We're always going to do what's right, okay? We ain't even going to need to try to do it. It's just going to be in our DNA, just like it's in Esau's DNA to be the wicked. He'll never know the way of righteousness. He wasn't made that way. Christians can't get that through their thick skull, though, man. They keep on wanting to save the devil. Praying for an Edomite, praying for a damn devil, man. You know, and they think we're hateful for saying that. because they lack understanding. It's not for everyone. The Lord only cares about the wise of his people, man. And that's, you know, you get wisdom through these scriptures. I read it earlier in Proverbs, 1:20. Wisdom crieth without, she uttereth her voice in the chief place of concourse, man. That's the prophets on the streets. That ain't talking about past the pork chop crammed up in that whorehouse called a Christian church. This is verse 68, 2 Ezra 16 and 68. I wasn't going to read this, but it looks like there's a bit more meat here I can read. So it says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. ICE, right? What Trump is doing is funding billions. I forget how many billion, do you remember? All I know is it succeeds the total funding of the US, the Russian army, man, the Russian military.
I think what they're trying to work on now is the age verification. Because I know young people have tried to sign up for it, but they've been denied because of the age. And I think Trump might be doing something to try and repeal that. So people that are younger can even join. You're building an army, basically.
Yeah. That's that great multitude that's kindled over us, man. Okay. That's coming soon. That's because the Lord says that some of us are going to have to be thrown into prison, man. He said that the devil was going to throw us into prison. That should give you a hint as to who this is talking about, man. Trump and his minions, them pale bastards, right?
Physical counterparts.
Yeah. It ain't hard to figure out. You got to go into the meaning of words. But Christianity has really messed our people's heads up. When they think of the devil, they're thinking of like it's a word like an insult or something. Like we're calling them a horned character with a pitchfork and a tail, man. That ain't what the devil means, okay? You got to get that out of your head, man. It's a stronghold. I'm going to read it again. It says, 2 Ezra 16 and 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. They've waged war on you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. It says, and they shall take away certain of you, right? Put us in FEMA camps and prisons. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols, which is that MOTB, man. It says, and they that consent unto them, so if you accept this MOTB, shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot, right? Because you're going to be destroyed. It says, for there shall be in every city and in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Because this is ultimately who Esau wants to come after, is us that are protected of the Lord, man. Okay, because they know that we're going to be the foundation of the new earth to come. We're the future rulers of the earth, man. They know that, right? Lord willing, we be of that number, but they know that the elect are going to be the future rulers of the earth, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and any of the speckled birds out there, man. Any of the Israelite foreigners also, okay? Because you do have a few people that look like so-called white people that are going to make it too, man, because there actually are people that have the appearance of these other nations. But that's a spiritual thing that not a lot of people can get their head around, man, okay? Now, I want to bring out another precept or two, unless you got something real quick.
No. Well, actually, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Just a quick scripture. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 7. It says, there be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Right? And that's what we're here, we're patiently waiting for the fall of Esau Edom. We're excited about the fact that this devil's going down and he ain't gonna rise up again, right? And that's one of the things that we love to, patiently wait for. So it's, I just wanted to bring that out because, all this chaos that Esau's about to bring is gonna be far beyond what you could have possibly imagined, right? It's gonna be a day like never before. It's not talking about just a day. It's talking about a time period like never before. Something like Trump's slavery. Remember, when you look at them slave movies and, like Roots or something like that, when you got the slaves running through the woods and they're hunting them down with dogs, letting the dogs tear. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have times like that coming up soon, right? And you can see it in the spirit of these damn devils, how they're excited. You know, there was a documentary that they just released about Hurricane Katrina, how they were hunting the so-called Jakes down there. Well, not so-called Jakes, but the Jakes down there. You know,
Yeah.
so-called blacks is what I meant to say, but they were hunting them, and then they got them all on there, you know, proud, like, oh yeah, killed me a few of them, you know, pride, like they were proud, and that was during Hurricane Katrina. Now imagine when Trump gives them license. Now you have a license to go after these criminals, because he will label it as criminals. That's what he's trying to paint us out to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, you know, you're more than likely, I don't know for certain, but it could be that, you know, people start tuning in to the Israelites, listening to us, saying, look, come back to the Lord, seek the Lord. And then, you know, you got Esau saying, oh, these Hebrew Israelites, they're the ones that's inciting the crowd. You need to take them out. You know, we could be public enemy number one. You know, who knows how the Lord's gonna have it play out? But you know, we're coming to that time, man. It's about to get messy out here, right?
Yeah, that's it, man. I got a preset relating to 2nd Ezra 16 that I brought out earlier, right? Hey, Shalom, Patrick.
Hey, Shalom, man. How about Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah?
How about Shem Yahushai Barakatah? Thank for joining our live, bro. Technical difficulties. Not Kings yet. Kind of. Not Kings yet. Will be Lord willing.
Lord willing.
Soon. But where was I? Zephaniah. Yeah. This is a preset to what I brought out earlier, right? Showing you what you need to do to get the Lord's protection, because we're not going to be able to protect ourselves. We can't pick up arms and go against Esau carnally, right? We need divine intervention, man. We need the Lord to intervene on our behalf. This is Zephaniah 2, starting at 1 through 3. It says, gather yourselves together. Yeah, gather together, O nation not desired. You know, because our people, we bring it upon ourselves, man. We're a damn embarrassment. Not us personally, but, you know, our people that ain't getting right, they just running around there terrorizing the place, twerking in the middle of damn restaurants in front of children with their big, fat, black ass in children's faces, man. I've seen it all, man. It's just craziness, man. And that's just a small example, man. But it says, before the decree come forth, right? So we got to gather together before the decree come forth. It says, before the day pass as the chaff, right? Which is them nukes. It says, before the fierce anger of Yahweh cometh upon you, before the day of Yahweh's anger, before the day of Yahweh's anger cometh upon you. It says, seek ye Yahweh, O ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgments. Our people that are under the curses, right? You gotta seek the Lord, man. It's because in order to be meek, it means you're humble. It means you're willing to learn. Okay, you're soaking this gospel up as if you was a child. You know, children, they soak up everything they learn, man. You gotta really watch what you put in front of children, because they soak it all up. And this is exactly the spirit that you need to be in order to get this understanding that you're gonna need in these end times to be protected, man. So it says, seek ye Yahweh, ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Our people under the curses. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of Yahweh's anger. So if you seek righteousness and meekness, right? You hearken unto his prophets that he has sent in these end times, you have a good chance at salvation. You have a good chance to be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Just like when, we had to put it during the Passover, put the blood over the doorpost and the angel of death passed by, right? That's exactly what you need in order to be protected in these last days. I'm not saying putting blood over your doorpost, but cleaving to this gospel is likened unto the same thing, basically, man. Okay? That's all you have to do. It's not that difficult. I mean, it takes sacrifice and it takes faith, because you literally having to lay down your life. You have to trust in the Lord that much to where you just give up everything. Give up the idea of trying to make something in this world. Oh, you just work at McDonald's. So be it. All right. Just hold fast what you have until the Lord comes. So you didn't become a famous rapper. You didn't become a lawyer or a doctor or a nurse. Who cares, man? Where you're at is where you're meant to be. You wasn't put here to be like everybody else. Okay, everybody has a different lot in this life. But if you have this gospel, you have everything. If you have the truth, you have the Lord's name. You've identified who the real prophets are among all these false prophets. There's many false prophets, man. But if you've identified who has the truth and you're cleaving to them, boy, you're in a very good position. You ought to be thankful, man. Don't let go of that for dear life. I'm telling you, man. Right? Right. One second. Yeah, this is the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5. I'm going to start from the top, verse 1. It says, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you." So you don't need us to tell you what season and what time we're in, right? You can see it all over the news. Every day is a new event that's taking place, right? It says, verse 2, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night." So it's going to be one of those things where you think everything's sweet, think the day is just going to go on as normal, and boom, sudden destruction coming, right? It says, verse 3, "For when they shall say peace," Salakia, it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape," right? And this is what's coming. It's what we keep telling you. And the scriptures are very clear, as to the signs that we need to look out for, right? You can see it, like earthquakes in diverse places, wars, rumors of wars, as written in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, right? It says you got false prophets, like my brother just mentioned. There's a lot of them out there, right? People you'd think, oh yeah, they're on it, and then the Spirit reveals who they are. I mean, there's all these things you got to watch out for, and the scriptures warn us of these things. But if you ain't got the eyesight to spot these things, you're gonna be taken, right? It says in the end, it says, "And they shall not escape." You ain't gonna be able to escape, man. We're gonna need divine intervention to survive what's coming, in the near future. We need that divine intervention from the Lord. But if you ain't, you don't know His name, who are you gonna call for help? Who are you gonna call? You're stuck. Stuck like Chuck. That's right. Did you read Revelation 12 and 12?
Yeah.
Devil has come down. Yeah, you did, didn't you? Mm-hmm. All right. We're about to wrap it up. We've only got one or two more precepts. I want to bring out Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 28 first, right? Because contrary to popular belief, the Lord ain't dealing with everybody, and He doesn't love everybody. And there's a lot of people of our nation that He's getting ready to judge terribly.
Yeah, I think that's a big stumbling block for a lot of Christians, because they say, "Oh, God is love," but the scriptures say what the scriptures say.
Yeah. So this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 28. It says, "For the Most High loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom." What's that wisdom is talking about? Remember, I read earlier in Proverbs 1 and chapter 20 on down, it said that, I think it was 22 on down, but it says that wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets, right? So the wisdom is this wisdom and knowledge of these holy scriptures, man. Because the scriptures also saying what? Is it Isaiah 33 and 6, that knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times, right? So the times, it's talking about the times we're living in now. You're going to need this knowledge and wisdom to be stable, right? Because you're going to see a lot of dead bodies. You're going to be seeing our people dropping like flies around us, man. It's going to stink around here because of how many people are going to die, right? But wisdom and knowledge will be able to help you mentally prepare yourself for that, man, so that you don't lose your mind. Any average person out here is going to be unstable during that time. That's why the men of the Lord are just going to stand out. Okay, because you might see us as cold or whatever, man, but we understand. Okay, we understand why this is happening, who it's meant to happen to, that none of these plagues are going to touch us, right? So we're going to be in a whole nother mindset. Lord said that, they're going to be hungry, we're going to eat, they're going to be full of sorrow, and we're going to be laughing, right? We're going to be merry-hearted during that time. We're going to be fine while they're tripping, right? And dropping like flies.
Yeah, that's in the you can find that in the book of Isaiah, chapter 65.
You can read it if you want.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it says, I'm going to start at Isaiah chapter 65, verse 12. It says, therefore will I numb you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. So this is to those that don't want to listen, don't want to, want to scoff and be demons, right? It says, therefore, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua power. Behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye. Says verse 14, behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Are you going to be jacked up without the Lord's protection?
Yeah, dwelling in torments. It says that in 2 Ezra's 9. And in fact, I'll grab that in just a sec. If you want to grab that, actually, 2 Ezra chapter 9. Yeah. For now, I want to read this, though, real quick, right? This is Sirach 16. I'm going to start at 1, read through 4. It says, desire not a multitude of unprofitable children. That's these YNs, man, okay? Unprofitable children. That's Eve, you know, the wicked of our women. Wouldn't say all, but damn near all, right? Because they've cleaved on to feminism, hating men and all that. It says, desire not the multitude of unprofitable children, neither delight in ungodly sons. See? So we ain't meant to give a damn about our people, that are prophesied not to make it, okay? We only care about the elect, right? And it says that in what we're about to read in 2 Ezra chapter 9 also, man. It backs it up. So it says, verse 2, Sirach 16 and 2, though they multiply, rejoice not in them. It says, except the fear of Yahweh be with them. See? So unless they're a part of this congregation, the congregation of the living, we don't give a damn about a 2/3, man. Okay? It's not our job to love all of Israel, okay? You're getting it twisted when we're supposed to love our brother. It ain't talking about them, okay? So it says in verse 3, it says, trust not thou in their life, neither respect their multitude. For one that is just is better than 1,000. See? You got 1,000 YNs running around. One righteous man of the Lord that's in this congregation, watching, tuning into our live lessons and this and that. One of us is better than 1,000 YNs, man. It says, and better it is to die without children than to have them that are ungodly. See? So if you don't have children, it's better that you had no children than to have a bunch of breed a bunch of monsters, man. Little drill rappers. Verse 4, the final verse, it says, for by one that have understanding shall the city be replenished. So the Lord is going to bring up the foundation of the kingdom of heaven by people that are righteous, man. Not these YNs. They're out of here. Okay? They've already made their bed and they're going to have to lay in it. It says, but the kindred of the wicked shall speedily become desolate. And I ain't just talking about Esau. That's talking about the wicked of our people too, right? Because our people surpass the deeds of the wicked, man. Just like I brought out earlier, right? So in 2 Ezra chapter 9.
This is the point right here that you may dwell in torments, but
yeah, probably start at verse 5.
Yeah, okay. So this is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 2 of Salakia. This is 2 Ezra chapter 9, verse 5. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So we understand that we're in the end times right now, right? Shit's about to start getting real, right? Verse 6, it says, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonder and powerful works and endings in effect and signs. Verse 7, it says, and everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Right? So faith and work is hand in hand. Right? You gotta have works if you can have faith, but you gotta have works also. Right? A lot of Christians will tell you that you don't, but they're completely lost anyway. Right? So it says, verse 8, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Right? And that's what my brother was talking about before, right? They're going to be dwelling in torments. You're going to be jacked up, beat up from the feet up, right? It says, verse 10, for such as in their lives have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law, wherein they had yet liberty, and when yet a place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. Right? You have all these people that just, you got the highways and the brothers out there on the highways and hedges, bringing out this wisdom, trying to teach the people, trying to educate the people, and they just scoff at it. They come up with the same arguments and don't receive the understanding or the correct breakdowns, right? And they want to continue in their ignorance. It says the same, this is verse 12, the same must know after death by pain. So you're going to be dwelling in torments, and you're going to be part of that lake of fire, basically. You're going to be screwed up.
You end it at verse 13.
Yep. Verse 13 says, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished, and when but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created.
So we don't give a damn about a 2/3, man. How they're gonna be punished and when. All we know is that shit is coming, man. And it looks like it's coming very soon, man. Due to what Trump is, stirring up, the pot he's stirring up. He's got these Edomites roused up. They want Jake's head. Okay. You got mad people signing up to be a part of ICE. You've even got dumbass niggas of our people, which could be terrors. But you got people of our nation that's signing up to be ICE agents, man, because they've bought into the lies of this system, and they actually think that Trump is for our people because they're delusional, man.
Yeah, they're looking at that money as well.
Yeah,
that's what they care about.
Sellouts.
Sell out your people for filthy lucre.
Yeah. Right? This is Romans 3 and starting at 10. I'm going to read through 18. It says, as it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after the Most High. It's talking about these YNs, man, and these hyenas. It says in verse 12, they are all gone. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. See, that's them unprofitable children that we don't need to be given a damn about, right? The hell with them, man. Okay, we ain't here to save all of Israel. The Lord is only concerned about the remnant, the ones that the world was created for, man. Okay. I'm gonna read verse 12 again. Romans 3 and 12. They are all gone out of the way, right? The way of understanding, walking in a way, their own way, right? Which is going to lead them to death. It says, they are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good, no, not one. It says, their throat is an open sepulchre. It says, with their tongues they have used deceit. It says, the poison of asps is under their lips, whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Man, our people are terrible, man. They kill you over some damn Jordans, over a damn chain, a little thin, flimsy little chain on your neck, man. They'll kill you for that, right? They don't want to see each other doing good. You can't have nothing nice in the hood, man. I used to live in America. We used to live in America for 14 years, man. We've seen the rich Edomite communities and we've seen the hood, okay? We've lived it both. The Lord had us experience that so that we can see firsthand what it's like to live in the heart of Babylon the Great, man. Okay, so that we're authorized to even bring this gospel out because we've seen it. I mean, not saying that if you haven't, you ain't authorized, but the Lord is really shown us the good side and the bad side of Babylon the Great, man. And the knowledge is power, man. Your experiences in life shape and mold who you develop into in your latter years. Where am I? Verse 15. Their feet are swift to shed blood. It says destruction and misery are in their ways, and they go around spreading that too, man. Because they disturb the peace everywhere they go, man. Okay, so that the Lord is fed up. Trump is fed up. These Edomites are fed up. Everyone's pretty much fed up, man. Okay, because and spiritually this is happening because their time is almost up, and we've been preaching about this for a while. And through the Spirit, we know that it's coming. It's coming very soon, man. It says, in the way of peace they have not known. It says, there is no fear of the Most High in their eyes. See? Hey, these YNs, man, they got to go, man. All right? And don't be shedding a tear for them, man. We ain't supposed to be lifting up a prayer for them. We ain't supposed to care for them. Okay? Because they've had plenty of warning. The ones that are part of this, during the time of that it really kicks off, which you're gonna know because all this stuff that's happening right now is, like I said, it's just an appetizer, man. When Jacob's trouble really comes, that's when the door of the ark is shut, and anyone outside, hey, to hell with them. They had their chance. They're gonna be banging on the ark, seeking the prophets. Amos 8:11, right? They're gonna be seeking us, but they ain't gonna be able to find us, man, because it's gonna be too late. Yeah, I'll play this last video here. It's a minute and 23 because I wanted to bring this out because basically this further proves that they're waging war against you tribes, man. It's all about cleansing the world of this the problem, right? The ones they don't class as Americans, because when they talk about make America great again, they're talking about white America, man. Okay, and to make it great again means to put you niggas in prisons, right? Or just eliminate you altogether. But check this out, man. It says MAGA influencer calls to ethnically cleanse infested black neighborhoods in Washington, D.C. And this is what you see Trump doing right now, man.
I believe entire neighborhoods probably need to be emptied, need to be bulldozed. I believe that there are places that are so crime-ridden and so infested that you just need to, you're just going to have to crack down. You're going to have to do the job, and you're going to have to get the crime out of Washington. That's my personal experience. Don't believe the bullshit that you hear online. What happened to DC, especially during the civil rights period, was that protesters that were bus up here stayed here. The city was burned to the ground. This happened during massive riots throughout the 60s and 70s. Mass swaths of the city were torched and were never really rebuilt. It is one of the worst, most racist narco states and welfare states imaginable. In that neighborhood that I would walk every single day, racial epithets were screamed at us, rocks were thrown at us because we were white people. This city is a sunken place. It is an unsafe place. I mean, if that's what happens to me, imagine what happens to somebody who's visiting here from a foreign country. Right? It's totally and wholly unsafe and a scar on the face of our country. And it must be healed. And President Trump is going about that heavy work.
So you niggas are the problem, man. And Trump has got the solution. He gonna make America great again, right?
But you see how that guy, he twists it. He said from the civil rights area they came up here and they stayed, and then the 60s and 70s, that's when all the crime started breaking out and they were calling us racist names and bro, talk about think about the times that you were in. It would have been the opposite way around. You know what I mean? He would have been his people would have been introducing the crime in the area, right? You remember the crack era?
Crack epidemic in the 80s. Yeah,
in the 80s, that would have been them. The flipping the racist stuff. I mean, come on, man. These guys like to play victim, but your people caused it.
They have the nerve to call us racist, man. They've been the thorn in our side since the beginning. Hey, Shalom, bro.
Hey, Shalom, Mark. How about
Yeah.
Shem Yahweh Shai
Yeah,
Barakatah?
how about Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah? The water for joining our live, bro. Good to see you, man, as always. But I'm gonna read this, right? If you want to get me that preset where it says, miserable are thy sons that afflicted thee.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Isaiah 19, starting at 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor. So these Americans are fighting Americans, right? Democrat, Republican, pro-Trump, anti-Trump, whatever, right, left, Democrat, all of that. It's divided like hell, man. It says, and every one against his neighbor. It says city against city and kingdom against kingdom. But this is the point. It says, in the spirit of Egypt, which Egypt is America, right? Because the dead bodies shall lie in a place that is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, the scriptures say, right? The dead bodies is us, them dry bones, right? Which is in the place called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, because America pushes that LGBT across the planet, which is coming in the spirit of Sodom. And then Egypt, because it's the place where the Israelites are mostly in captivity, just like in ancient Egypt, man. So it's talking about America when it says Egypt here, not the land of Egypt in Africa. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. So this is why they got that slogan, "Make America Great Again," because everything's falling apart for them, and they're looking for someone to blame. Because Esau can never look at his own people as the problem, the elites of his nation. They're using brown people as a scapegoat, man. We bear the brunt of of the failures of the society for the longest. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And this is the point in verse 4. It says, and the Egyptians, which is the Americans, will I give over to the hand of a cruel lord. Who do you think that is, man? Who's the one coming down having great wrath upon you niggers, man? That's Trump. It says, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. So this is what the Lord said was going to happen, and now we're seeing it play out in real time, man. Further proving how true these scriptures are, man. And the Lord says what he's going to do to our people that don't listen, and he also says the reward he's going to give to our people that do listen, man, that do hearken unto his word, unto his voice, man. So this is why, we understand. We're spiritual men up here, and we understand what we got to do to survive what's coming, man. Okay, this is why we cleave to this truth for dear life, and we're always seeking to grow and seeking to stay humble and seeking to do this thing in sincerity and in truth, because the Lord don't play no games, and he knows your intentions and your thoughts, man. Okay, so as long as you remain humble and you're sincere, and you have identified the true name, the importance of that name, them names, Yahweh and Yahushai, and you've identified who the real prophets are among all these false prophets, you stand a very good chance of salvation. And we're going to need it very soon, man, because things are getting really crazy. and trust me, by the time we do our next live lesson, I'm sure there'll be more stuff to report on, because it just never stops. Prophecies are just jumping off the page, man. Okay, and it's exciting times for us that know what's going on. We're stable-minded up here, man. Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge is going to be our stability in these times, man, because we know what's going on. We know what to expect, and we know why this is happening. We know what we got to do to save our household, and to hell with the rest of them. Okay, they didn't cleave to this truth while they didn't see the importance of this truth. They think they mock, scoff, say we're wearing dresses, and it's all good. Hey man, nice cake. Yeah, yeah. Power Rangers and all. We've heard it all, man. But it always ends up ugly for these scoffers, man, and these people that ain't right in the spirit. I mean, the Lord is making many examples. You got damn Peggy Bundy out there, okay, Pegasus. You see what happened to him. You see what happened to Polite. You got many more examples coming too, man. The Lord about to make examples of everyone that ain't right, especially these YNs and these hyenas, man. Got anything else?
I got that scripture. Cool.
Oh yeah, bring that up.
Yeah, and just to also add to what you were saying, that just goes to show you how fair the Lord is. The Lord didn't just destroy this place. He's giving you the heads up. Like, look, man, I'm about to destroy this place. Come seek me to get that protection. What's it say? The name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it, and it's safe. Yeah. So I mean, the Lord, He gives you the opportunity, man. Like, so you can't turn around and say, "Oh Lord, I didn't know," because brother's been out here for years. On the highways and hedges, bringing us out.
That's because the Lord is long suffering with our people, even though they should have been destroyed like yesterday. But the Lord is long suffering, man. Okay, and He wants every one of the elect to be saved, not one grain to fall upon the earth, man.
Yeah. So this precept here, this is in the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 31. It says, "Miserable are they that afflict thee, and rejoice at thy fall." And they've rejoiced. These Edomites have rejoiced at our fall. They put their hand towards making it worse. You know what I mean? Constantly. Verse 32 says, "Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation."
That's why these, and I wanted them to bring this out because that's the reason why they're looking for someone to blame. They're trying to blame you, Jakes, man, for all the problems in America because they're miserable, man. Because the Lord is punishing them for what they did to us because we're the apple of His eye, okay? And because everything's falling apart for them, they're looking for someone to blame, man. And Trump is talking about getting these niggas out the country and this and that, with getting you his so-called Hispanics out the country and all this. And it's that's music to their ears, man. Okay, because these people lack understanding and don't even realize who they're messing with, man. Okay, but ultimately the Lord is gonna allow them to come down upon you that are undesirables of our people. Okay, you people that haven't been washed clean, man, because ain't nothing filthy standing in the Lord's sight. Now this is the last precept I think we'll bring out, and this is Proverbs 22:3. It says, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself." Okay, and how do you hide yourself? You seek meekness, seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger. Remember, I brought that out earlier, man. Get the exact precept. You got to hide yourself, under the name of the Lord. My brother just said, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. We're hiding in that strong tower, man. Okay. So the prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, cleaving to this gospel. It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. So that's what's going to happen to these YNs and these hyenas, man. And Lord, everyone knows they got to go. I'm sure you know in your spirit that these people are just a damn embarrassment and there's no fixing them. And they just got to go, man. That's just the way it is. All right. So anyway, I think that's it, man. Yeah. We'll close it out there. All right. So the water for tuning in, Lord willing.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, seek the Lord while you have that opportunity before the end comes, man. Like, you still got that slight opportunity to seek the Lord. A lot of people are still out there scoffing. There's no help for them. There's no saving them. They're done for, right? But if this resonates with you, it'd be within your interest to definitely seek the Lord and get this understanding while you have that opportunity. Because soon, we're gonna be taken off the internet. They already got that online safety bill, online safety act.
Amos 8:11.
Yeah, that's coming. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's when the door of the ark is shut spiritually, man. So anyway, the water for tuning in, Lord willing, you've been edified by this lesson. All right, get right before you get left.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, we're gonna face the east, give all honor, praise, and glory
unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Kawashai, Bahasham, Rakah, Wadash.
All right, shalom.
Shalom.